Okay, good morning, my sweet kiddos. I hope you have had a great morning. If you are starting off, if you're doing this in the afternoon, I hope you had a great afternoon. Today we are going to be talking about equivalent fractions. So the first thing we need to know is that equivalent means equal, okay? And I always remember it because EQU, EQU. Equivalent, equal, okay? That means that they are the same. Now, if two fractions are equivalent, that happens if they have the same size or they are at the same point on a number line. Okay, so for example, if I have a circle, two circles, they're going to represent our fractions. Okay, so what's important to know is that when comparing fractions, they always have to be the same size, right? So I can't have like a circle this big and we're trying to compare it to a circle this big, right? They need to be the same size shapes, okay? So just to make sure that we are looking at things the same way, I'm going to use this Yoo-hoo can to try and make circles that are the same size, okay? Miss Lewis's tracing skills are not the best. Also, if you ever want to get Miss Lewis a present, I love Yoo-hoo. Okay, so there's two circles that are supposedly the same size. They are not perfect circles. Okay, so we know that they are equivalent if they have the same size in relation to one another. For example, if I was to say that this circle is 1/2, okay, so 2 tells us how many parts the fraction is going to be in, and then the numerator or the top number is going to tell us how much is shaded. Okay, so if 1/2 of the circle is shaded is equivalent to 2/4. So if this circle is divided into fourths, there's 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to color 2 of them. So there's 1 and 2. If we look at these, we know that they are equal, right? Because this circle looks the exact same as this circle. So we know that 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. Okay? So two fractions are equivalent if they are the same size or they are at the same point on a number line. So if we take this exact example and we use a number line, I'll just erase it. Okay. So if we have our number line, here it is. Start here is 0, here is 1, here is 1/2, right? Because it's halfway in between. Here's 2 parts, 1, 2. They're the same size. Now, if we were to divide this into fourths, it would be 0, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, right? Because there's 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are all the same size. So we see that 1, 2, 3, and this is 4/4, right? Or 2/2. 1/2 and 2/4 fall on the same place on the number line. So that's how we know that they are equivalent. Okay. You can always check with cross multiplication. Okay. So for example, this is not how we're going to solve it to find it, but this is a good way to check your answers to make sure that they are right. So if I'm trying to say that 1/2 is equal to 3/6, I can say 1 times 6 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6. If they are both 6, or they are both the same number, then you know that your fractions are equivalent. So down here are some examples. So the one that we did together, 2/4 is the same as 1/2. 1/4 is also the same as 1/2 is also the same as 4/8, right? And so it doesn't always have to be in circles. It doesn't always have to be in a number line, but it does have to be the same size shape, right? So if here we're doing a rectangle, here's a rectangle like this, right? There's it's into fourths. Or excuse me, let's do halves. Okay, there's halves. Now if I need to, should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautiful. Okay, 1/2. Here's my 2 pieces. I'm going to shade in one part because that's what the numerator is 1. Okay, now to make it look the same, I need to shade in 1, 2, 3, 4. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total pieces. So I'm saying that 4/8 is equivalent to 1/2. We can use our cross multiplication to check and see if that is correct. So 1 times 8 is 8. And then 2 times 4 is also 8. 8 and 8 are equal, so we know that these two fractions are equivalent. Now, some things that are not equivalent. Let's look at some examples of those real quick. If I have a circle, 2 circles, okay, and I have this one divided into fourths, this one divided into halves. Okay, so I'm going to color 1/2, and this one I'm going to color 1/2. So 1/4. We know that these are not equivalent, right? Not equivalent. Because they do not look the same, right? This one has more covered up than this one. And if we were to use our cross multiplying to check, 1 times 2 is 2, and 4 times 1 is 4. 2 does not equal 4, right? They are not the same. So we know that these two fractions are not equivalent. I hope that was a good review for you guys, and I will be doing some practice problems later.